What comes to your mind when you think of the average man in 2022? Is it this guy, or perhaps this guy? If you've got any sense of awareness, then you would probably picture this guy in your head when you think of the average man. In this video, I'll be telling you how to be, if not the 1%, then at least the 10% of the very rare men. But before we begin, let's talk about the traits of an average man. An average man as of now is clueless, lacks purpose and meaning, and has no ambition to accomplish anything. Whereas if you go back just 200 years from now, men were literally striving to be successful, to lead, to build something, to engage in competition, to build a physique, to create a legacy, no matter how big or small. But an average man these days is at his happiest after winning like a shitty Fortnite match, wearing dumbass trippy clothes, and acting tough on social media, aka the keyboard warrior. An average man has many traits, some of which are watching porn, playing video games almost all day long, not reading even one page of literature, not having lifted even those small weights that girls work out with. So many other bad habits that bring tragedy and loss to his life. Now that you're aware of what an average man is, let me tell you how to avoid being one of these plebs. But before we go on, look at my shoulders, bro. Look at that. I look like Derek right now. I have made 3 tiers that you can follow to be the 20% of the men, the 10%, and finally the 1%. I would highly suggest that you start with the tier of the 20% of the men, then slowly develop and switch to the 10%, and when you're finally ready, you can get to the final boss, which is the 1% of the men. So let's talk about the 3 tiers that I just mentioned to kind of give it some sight. The first tier features 20% of the men who are employed, as in work, runs and calls at a workout, reads sometimes, which I would say rarely, purpose but no action, dresses somewhat okay. The second tier features 10% of the men who are employed, I would say decent work, not the best, works out often, which is about 3 times a week, reads books sometimes, purpose and action, doesn't watch adult content, dresses well, and prays. The third and the last tier features 1% of the men, and I'm not gonna mention all these things, bro, you can just screenshot. But basically, all these things that you see on the screen of the gold tier are all the things that 1% of the men do. I understand that trying to be the 1% is kind of unrealistic since it requires most of us to have a drastic change in our lifestyle. We must do whatever we can to get to the top tier, even if it means getting rid of Candy Crush. If you're in the bronze tier, do everything you can to get to the silver tier. If you're in the silver tier, which I assume that you are, do everything you can to get to the gold tier. So getting to the gold tier is kind of difficult, but if you stay consistent, consider it done. Take a screenshot of the tiers and work towards becoming the 1% every single day. Remember boys, if you're doing any of the 5 things from gold tier, you are progressing every single day. I hope this video was valuable and useful to you and gave you an insight on how to become the 1% every single day, or at least work towards becoming the 1% every single day. Good day and subscribe, bro.